How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Formula 1 2014. This episode we will tackle Malaysia. Now, I know it's been a really long time since Australia, and I will admit I should have brought this episode out a long time ago. However, I wasn't sure if I should wait for the second race of the season so I could sync it up with the championship in real life, or do it the regular way, release it in weekly intervals. So I decided to do what I'm doing with the NASCAR season and syncing it up. So this is after the second race of the season, which was in Bahrain. And okay, we are here on the grid, starting on pole. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We are off. We're off to a good start. We have Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo behind us. Alonso goes to our inside into turn 1. He backs off. We get through that snail section there. We go for a slide through turn 2, and then we go into 3. And it's clear sailing from here so far. Anyway, as I said, we are now 2 races into the 2016 Formula 1 season. And I gotta say, it's been pretty good so far. Australia was one of the better races I've seen since I have started watching Formula 1 full time, which was in 2013. I mean, between the battle between Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, the fact that Haas was able to score points on debut, and not just one. It was pretty competitive, and not to mention, Nico Rosberg continuing his winning ways after last season. Everyone thinks that, well, a lot of Hamilton fans think that Rosberg is getting preferred treatment, which I think is a bunch of crap, but, what can I say? They'll believe what they want. Any fan will believe what they want, to be honest. And then you had the crash between Esteban Gutierrez and Fernando Alonso, and I really thought that Fernando Alonso was at least unconscious in that car after it came to rest. I mean, the way it caught the grass and then it just started to flip out of control. Even the broadcasters thought that something was wrong. They didn't even notice at first that his car was upside down, up against the wall, all the way across the sand trap. But car did its job, kept itself intact. Everyone came out okay, and the gesture from Gutierrez was also good. He went to see how Fernando was doing, and walked out of the accident scene arm in arms. That was good. And then speaking of Verstappen earlier, he got a little bit fired up, you could say, because he didn't get the I think it was because he didn't get the first pit stop. Carlos Sainz got it instead, and that meant that Verstappen was stuck behind someone for a majority of an entire stint, and I believe it was either Julian Palmer or Kevin Magnussen. I'm not really sure. But in the end, he eventually got around and came across the line behind, behind signs, excuse me. And as I said, Nico Rosberg was your victor, having won I believe this was 3 or 4 in a row. Well, anyway, moving on to not Malaysia, this is Malaysia. Moving on to Bahrain. Now, I will admit, I missed the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And I had no idea that Sebastian Vettel didn't start until they mentioned it during the broadcast. Which kind of sucks because, believe it or not, Sebastian Vettel is my favorite driver, and Ferrari is my favorite team, as has been evident so far in this series. So that was kind of lame, but then Kimi Räikkönen did a good job. He got his first points since Singapore last season, and once again was denied the alcohol because I think Bahrain is a completely dry country. Don't quote me on that. But the thing I'm referring to was when he got his first podium, or his first win. When was his first win? Well, it was back at Abu Dhabi in 2012. He didn't get alcohol that time either. So it's been a while since, other than Singapore, it's been a while since he's been able to taste the champagne and not just the sparkle water. And I digress. Let's see what else happened. And you had the contact at the beginning of the race between Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton, which sent Hamilton back. And once again, Hamilton's fans were calling foul. But in the end, Bottas got hit with a drive-through for causing the contact, which was unavoidable, yes. But it was the first corner. Anything can happen in the first corner, especially in a hairpin situation like in Bahrain. I'm trying to think what else happened. Well, let's talk about Manor. Pascal Wehrlein scored. Well, he would have scored points had he gone up a little bit further in the order. He finished, I believe, 13th. Correct me if I'm wrong. That team has come a long way this season so far, since it's been fitted with the Mercedes engine. Arianto hasn't shown his worth quite yet, but I have a feeling that he'll be coming to his own in the races to come. He is a rookie, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. And plus, Manor, I don't think he's used to being this high up in the order on a bi-weekly basis. So good job to Manor, and definitely good job to Pascal Wehrlein for bringing them further up the pack. Now we move on to Haas. Now, Haas was supposed to be starting in 2015, but big man Gene Haas decided to skip the season to properly prepare his team so as not to be caught out like previous entries, you know, Caterham, Marussia, which is now Manor, HRT, etc. And it's really shown the level of preparation that he's got, or that he went through He has, let's see, Gunther Steiner as team principal. Not exactly heard of him. And I think he's been on a few other teams in the past. Red Bull, I believe. Then you have Roman Grosjean, the former wrecker of the series, and that title was given to Pastor Maldonado, who is no longer in the series. So we don't really have a wrecker anymore, thankfully. But anyway, Grosjean has been leading the charge, if you will, for Haas, scoring a 6th in Australia and 5th in Bahrain. And as a result, Haas sits in, I want to say 5th place in the Constructors' Championship. So, all in all, it's been a pretty good season so far. I mean, we haven't seen the total domination of Lewis Hamilton in years past yet. I mean, it's most likely going to happen sooner or later, fortunately. But, you know, we'll be in Shanghai, China, the track that is actually shaped like the Chinese character Shang, in, well, just about a week from this Sunday. That should be a fun one. It's not a track I know how to drive very well, especially the snail section going into turn 1. As we see, I'm coming to my pit stop here. Bring it on, or we bring on the hard compound, and we're on our way. We are in P8. Yeah, we'll come out in P8. And we are halfway through this race now. I'm not exactly sure who the leader is right now. But, anyway. So, China is next weekend. And then go to Russia, which is also a track I'm not exactly good at. I wasn't exactly expecting a race in Russia when it happened. I mean, well, then again, Putin is loaded, and so is Bernie, so that kind of thing. Oh, getting jumbled in my words here. That was kind of expected. I mean, the money talks, right? Especially with Baku in Azerbaijan coming up later on this season, which I have heard a few people say already. It's not in Europe. Azerbaijan is an Asian country, and it's being billed as the European Grand Prix. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure if the FIA realized that. I mean, good on Azerbaijan for getting a Grand Prix, but seriously, they dropped the ball on that one. They should have just gave it the Azerbaijani Grand Prix moniker instead of European. And maybe brought back Maniacor, perhaps, or maybe even Zandvoort, because I've never actually seen Zandvoort. Or even better, they could bring back Kialami in South Africa. That looks like a good track to race on. I mean, it's a damn shame what happened in the. This is a while ago now. The 1976 South African Grand Prix, or 77 rather, happened to Tom Price and that Marshall. Oh God. I saw that video at least 3 times, and every time I wanted to vomit because it was just, oh god. Thankfully, it's a lot safer nowadays. So, you're now past halfway here. Going into these, I don't want to call them double apexes, but like the curve that I just went over, or went through rather. Those are hard to me. Not exactly sure why. Like, I'll carry enough speed going into it, then I get a lot of understeer, and then I end up sliding the tires through the corner itself, and we go through the snail section. I am the current leader, followed by Daniel Ricciardo of Red Bull and Nico Rosberg, who is the most recent winner in Formula 1, having won the first 2 races of the season. And my fastest lap is a 43.92. I know it could be going a lot faster, but I'm using a keyboard. So, that's that. I haven't quite figured out how to change the fuel map setting without beaching the car. We'll have to work on that when I run my China race. I know you were probably expecting commentary on this race, but since it's been so damn long, I've forgotten what exactly has happened. So I decided to ramble on about the sport for a while. Seems relevant. Okay, we're coming to 5 laps to go here. And the gap is 1.7. I am the leader, followed by Rosberg, Ricciardo, and the 2-time defending champion, Lewis Hamilton. Excuse me. So, what are some of your guys' favorite races on the calendar? Mine are, well, Monaco, of course. Then we have, Canada, Monza, and I kind of like Singapore too. I mean, it's not exactly easy to drive, but it's a lot of fun to watch. And then you have the Twilight races. Actually, I think there's only one. I think Abu Dhabi's the only one that starts in the day. Starts in the day, goes into the darkness. Because as I go off the track in that corner I was talking about earlier, allow Rosberg to catch up. He goes by using and has DRS. At least I think he did. But I go back up the outside, and I take him going through the final corner, coming up to the line here. I attempt to change my fuel map, and I've done so. Rosberg tries to go back up to my inside through the hairpin. Can't do it. I run up on the curb a little bit too much, going through 2. And now we go through the sweeping turn 3. Coming to the end of the first sector, I am 3/10 off my previous sector time there. And the gap is now 0.8 of a second ahead of Rosberg. looks like it's gonna rain. But, well, very little I do remember. It didn't actually start to rain. Like, until the very end, so I was safe there.
You have a 1 second lead over the car behind. Be aware.
Picked up a little bit of time from Rosberg. Coming up to that dreaded second to last corner. We take it a little bit better this time, but we get a little squirrely coming out of it. I attempt to change my fuel map again. Can't quite get it done. Rosberg has DRS, but he can't execute the move. So we keep the lead. Now we got 3 laps to go, and we have a retirement. Down to 21 cars. Cars in the race, excuse me. Not sure who that was. So yeah, as I was saying before, I like Italy, Singapore, Canada, and I'm not to be biased or anything, but I quite like my home track in Austin. It's a lot of fun to drive, and the racing's been pretty good, from what I can remember. As a matter of fact, I'd love to see NASCAR race on that track. They probably have to build a lot more pit stalls, but I digress. Run a little bit slowly through that corner. It allows Rosberg to get DRS, and he will attempt to go up my outside. Can't quite get the move done. And we go into the hairpin with the lead still. Get a little bit loose coming out of the corner. As we come to 2 laps to go now. Rosberg has DRS again. I try to cover the outside. I do so going into turn 1. Rosberg is on my gearbox. And he has backed out, allowing me some breathing space. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think he hit me a little bit. But anyway, navigating this left-right and this double apex corner here, one of which I missed. And yep, first hairpin. Coming up to the first of the 2 dreaded corners that I can't seem to get right sometimes. And now to the second. This is the one I can almost never get right. Rosberg is back up to my gearbox. Tries to go down the inside, can't quite get it done, but he has DRS. And he will try to go to my outside and try to go onto my inside now, and I hold him off for the moment. As we come to the final lap here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, going for my first win in a Formula 1 car, and my fuel is now running low. Missed the second part of the snail section apex a little bit, but keep it on the track. We Thought we were gonna go purple through the first sector, but not quite. Up on the rumble strip a little bit too much there. Into the two corners I don't like. Get a little bit off track there, but we keep the car going straight. And missed the apex coming out of the second to last corner. Rosberg is caught back up, and he has Daniel Ricciardo in tow. Rosberg attempts to go to my outside. I go off the track to block. Coming out of the second hairpin, then the final corner. I come to the start line, get a little bit squirrely on the curb, but I will win my first race in this championship. Now let's take a look at the finishing order here. We have Nico Rosberg, Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg, Sergio Perez, and Kevin Magnussen round out your top 10. And your points with Jenson Button and Daniel Kvyat. And Esteban Gutierrez was your retirement. Not sure what happened to him.
You've moved into second.
And with that win, I move up to second in the Drivers' Championship, a mere 2 points behind Lewis Hamilton. So with that said, this has been the Malaysian Grand Prix. If you enjoyed what you saw or heard, or a combination of the two, consider leaving a like, because it helps me out a lot. And if you would like to see more Formula 1 or anything else I have to offer, then consider subscribing and joining the Wheeler Brigade today. However, till next time, keep the pedal down and keep on rocking. And I will see you at Shanghai.